Today I got a Lenovo IdeaPad 320. It's got a bad keyboard. I'm going to show you how to replace it. Hey guys, how's it going? Dale here. Today I got a Lenovo IdeaPad 320. It has a bad keyboard. A lot of these keys over on this side just aren't working. They don't think it was liquid damage. I hooked up a USB keyboard to it and it works just fine. I have already opened it up and cleaned the cable, alcohol, reseated it, the ribbon cable for the keyboard that connects to the motherboard. I didn't change anything, so it has a bad keyboard. But with these, the keyboard and the Palmrest, basically all one unit, so I'm just going to open it up, transfer all the guts onto the new bottom side of the Palmrest. It's not too difficult, just kind of delicate, so you just want to take your time and be careful. So it's already off. I'm going to open it up. I took out all the screws. Yes, I've already taken out all the screws, sorry. And all the screws are all the same length, even the one for the optical drive here, which I have to remove. Let's see. If these don't slide out real easy, don't tug on it too hard because you'll end up ripping the faceplate off. You don't want to do that, so I'm just going to take my little paper clip here, put it in the eject hole, and ejectorize it. And then we can get a hold of it better and just gently slide it on out. Get that out of the way for now. So I'm going to use a plastic blue triangle spudger tool. I'll have a link down below where you can buy these. They're super cheap, but they're very, very useful and very handy. So I'm just going to start in the seam here where the bottom meets the top. Slide it around. Don't force it, just kind of work it. And always be conscious of your screen under there when you're doing these kind of removals or bottom removals. Should come off fairly easy because I already had it off. Just to mess with that cable. Sometimes you get lucky and that works, but so that comes right off. So we don't need that right now. Basically, keyboard's up underneath here, of course, but we just got to take all this and put it into our new one. Now this is a brand new one here. The exact same one. Sometimes when I order these, depending on where I get them, or if you end up buying them used, sometimes they come with or without the SATA connector here for your hard drive or SSD in this case. So, but I have a ton of these extra ones laying around, but they just pop in there. You can use a plastic tool like this and just pop it out of there, pop the new one in. So I'll set that over there for right now. So we're just going to go around the board here and start removing and disconnecting. First thing I'm going to do is get rid of the battery right here. There's 4 screws. There's one here, and 2 down here. I'm using a number 0 Phillips screwdriver. And hopefully I don't forget something. Just keep track of all your screws. There's not that many screws. There's 4 for the battery. Technically only 1 for the motherboard. But just keep track, whatever works best for you, and always protect yourself from static electricity when you're inside your computer. But I'm going to remove the battery first, and that'll be the last thing I put back in. So with that unscrewed, we're just going to lift it up, and it connects right here to the motherboard. Connector slides back, so I'm just going to gently pull it out of there, just like that. All right. Yeah, I'm going to set that over there for right now. So I'm going to go around the board here and disconnect what I need to disconnect. We got our speaker wire here because we have, like I said, we got to take all this out. Well, actually, before I do that, I'm going to do the hard drive, or the solid state drive in this case, next. It just pops in this little area over here. Slide that out of the way. And we're going to just start pulling these little connectors up. You got to flip these little levers up here. Boom. So we got keyboard, got the SATA connector for the optical drive. We have the SATA connector for the hard drive or SSD. Got the touchpad. We got the speaker. So let's just start right here. Flip these levers up. These are very tiny. If you got it somewhat of a fingernail, it's usually the best way. Just be very careful. Don't pull them because you can easily break them off and then you're kind of screwed. Get Mr. Speakers unplugged here. The connector is on the bottom side of the motherboard, but it pulls out fairly simple. Just remember which way it plugs back in case it gets twisted around. So we got that. This guy, they got a little bit of adhesive on the bottom of these. Ugh. Pull that back. Gotta get this out of here. No, I didn't do that one yet. I'm going to try to remove the fan and the Wi-Fi card and leave the wires, the antenna wires, routed in the fan just like that, and try to move this all in one piece and just set it off to the side. We got to fish these wires out of here. I'll do that in a second. I just hate putting these antenna wires back on these small Wi-Fi cards. I've done it a million times, but it's a pain in the butt. I have to put on my magnifier glasses so I can even see the darn things. Yeah, I know I'm old. I'm going to disconnect the fan. Cooling fan, Mr. Motherboard. All right, we got that one. Go ahead and get the keyboard. All right, so that's the stuff we're disconnecting. I'm gonna leave the CMOS battery plugged into the motherboard when I take it out. Right here's the CMOS battery. It's pretty simple to do. Usually got just a little piece of tape or adhesive holding that thing down, no big deal. Now we got 2 screws back here on the DC jack right here. Again, number 0 Phillips screwdriver. Even though your battery is disconnected, just don't touch anything. You really don't have to. You can help it. And we have to disconnect the screen cable for the LCD screen right here. Just like that. There's 2 screws for these hinges here on each side. Boom, boom, and these 2. I'm going to mark these. Use a little Sharpie or something. So you remember you don't want to put it in these holes that you need to put the bottom cover back on. Pretty straightforward. Number 1 Phillips. Little beefier screw. And these 4 hinge screws are the same. 2 on each side. Before I go any further though, I'm going to see if I can get this. Oh, we got 1 screw here for the fan, right here back in the corner right there. Come on, Dale. Mr. Fan, DC jack. And of course we got 1 here for the Wi-Fi card. I'm going to gently try to get this out without popping those antenna wires off. That screw is very tiny, but that's why it's good to use a magnetic tip Phillips screwdriver. It's the hard part. Jiggle that out of the slot there. Now if you're careful, you can lift this fan up, leave that Wi-Fi card connected, and just fish these wires out of the little grooves here. Just put it back out of the way for the moment. All right, now I gotta lift these hinges up carefully. They're pretty darn stiff, so be careful, because this whole piece is going to slide out and we're going to separate the top from the bottom, you know, the cover from the bottom. Slide the new one in and put everything back in. Hopefully get a hold of that hinge. Got to get it up out of the way. Make sure everything's disconnected. Get a hold of the motherboard here. Oh, my bad. Forgot the screw here for the motherboard. There's 1 screw right here. It's got a Lenovo warranty little doohickey on it. I always forget that. It's pretty much the only screw holding the motherboard down. So there, we want to be careful with that because we got to use it again. I'm going to set it back here, out the way. Oh, we're going to need the SATA connector here too for the optical drive. Put that right back on the new one. Get that cable out of there. So we don't need that. Put that over there. Be careful of your screen. Just gently lay this back in place. Kind of do everything sort of in reverse. I'm going to put this on there first. Where does that go? Right down. Oh, my bad. Because we're going to need that again. Battery is going to be the last thing I put back in there. So I can do this without the antenna wires coming off. So now we got to get all these cables out of the way and put this back. It's always kind of fun. There's a little nib sticking up here that kind of line things up. Helps a little bit. Get everything out from under the board so I can get to it. Yeah, we got that. All right, gotta get lined up here. All right, so you can see it kind of centers itself when you get it over these little plastic nipple things sticking up here. Oop, forgot Mr. Touchpad here. You can buy these Palmrest with the keyboards with or without the touchpads. I always try to get them with the touchpads. They're like 50 bucks. All right, so first thing I'm gonna do is connect this keyboard, because that's hard to get to once you get the fan back in there. Very hard to get to. Just know that from experience. I'll worry about those in a second. Let me get the CMOS battery back in place here. Just a CMOS battery, but it's got enough sticky tape on it where it's not going anywhere. Now we just got to kind of do everything sort of in reverse. Gonna hook the screen connector back up real quick. That's not too difficult on that one. Sorry, my big fat head keeps getting in the way, but I think that's all right to be up like that. Might as well plug this in while it's right here without the battery in the way, or can't put the battery in anyway because it'll cover it up. Make sure it's in all the way. And might as well put those two screws back in by the DC jack. And pop those hinges down in a second here. My phone's buzzing away, but it can wait. It's not a real difficult job. You just got to be careful. Use good quality tools. Take your time. Let me get this guy hooked back up. That's for our optical drive over here. Just got to make sure they're pushed in all the way. That's the biggest thing with these. Just like that. Clip it back down. Put the screw back in for the motherboard in the corner over here. As long as we're right there. Ooh, is that the right one? Yeah, it's the right one. So long, Mr. Warranty, whatever. That goop out of there. I'm not going to do those hinges just yet. I'm going to see if I can finagle this guy back in there. Hopefully you guys can kind of see what I'm doing here. Just got to fish these wires through these channels back here. Well, golly jeepers. All right, I got to lay this down. Not using any metal tools on these, just my nylon little spudger stick here. Gotta be careful with these antenna wires, they are fragile. You don't want to kink them or pinch them really hard. That wouldn't be good. Mess up your Wi-Fi signal. I just don't want those antenna wires to come off. And that lines up just like that. I knew that was going to happen. I gotta get these out of the way. So when we slide the optical drive back in, it's not smashing any wires. Over here, the optical drive is going to slide in and you don't want the wires sticking out in the way because that would be a mess. There, I just want to wrap them around that little post. Might as well put the fan screw back in, right back here in the corner. Just like that, plug the fan in. Now let's see, I can finagle this back in there. Alright, so far so good on the antenna wires. Not coming off. Now I have to get to the screw hole. I'm using my little tiny number 0 Phillips screwdriver here for that. Don't want to pinch the wires with the screw, which I did not. Excuse me. Alright, I'm going to put these hinges back down here, kind of line everything up. Come on, line up, baby. There. Back to my number 1. Get everything nice and snug. Alright, I didn't mark that. Alright, I'm gonna go in these 2 holes. This one and this one. Opposite of each other. Don't over tighten these. Just get them nice and snug so your hinges aren't jiggling around on you. I got it in the right hole. Yeah. Alright, like I said, you can use like a Sharpie or something, mark the holes on the way out if you want. So we got the Wi-Fi card mounted. Now I gotta hook these cables back up here. Got this one already. Pardon me, guys. Nah, that can wait. The secretary will get that. Now this is the touchpad. It's kind of bent the wrong way, but I'll do my best to get it back in the right hole here. Already get it in. Just bear with me, guys. I always struggle with these. Dirty booger. They're so tiny. Come on, get under there. There we go. Just so it's up to the line. One more here. Just don't want to break those little black levers off. Don't put a lot of force on them when you're flipping them up. Be very gentle. If you can help it. This is, it's got that adhesive on it. Doesn't want to slide. And these only go in one way. There, just like that. I think that's in all the way. I always just like to make sure they're in all the way. Nothing worse than have to open it back up. All right, so we got that connected. Got our Wi-Fi antenna wires. back in the channels here. Just don't want those sticking up. So let's go on that side. More anything pinched. And we got those back in. Boom, boom. Antenna wires look good. Speakers. And we'll put Mr. SATA SSD back in here. This is just basically a friction fit in here, guys, so just be gentle when you're sliding it back in. Clip this down. Hold that. And the last thing's going to be Mr. Battery. Covers all this up. Basically just like that. But I'm going to connect it before I screw it because there's not a lot of wiggle room on that cable there. I'm going to kind of get it in place. Slide it in. Well, before I screw it in. Just spin it around a little bit. Make sure that's in there. Just make sure it's in all the way. But be gentle on those wires. Again, they're very thin. You can damage them. Don't want to do that. All right. Put the battery screws back in. Go back to my number 1. And funny enough, I got, oh, well, you can't see, I got another one right behind me over another Lenovo that I got to do the exact same thing on. And believe it or not, it's another 320. I got 2 in the same day with bad keyboards. One was definitely a liquid damage, but I've already determined that it didn't damage the motherboard or anything like that. Just needs a new keyboard. Keys are all gooped together. It was coffee with lots of sugar in it. It was just weird that I got 2 this exact same model on the same day with bad keyboards. This one I thought I'd do a good video on to show you guys how to do it. So, like I said, the Palmrest with the keyboard, the touchpad, they don't cost that much, 40, 50 bucks online. It's just better to do it that way than try to melt all these little plastic doohickeys here and take this. You can buy just the keyboards, but trust me, I don't have that kind of time. I just want to make sure everything's connected. Drives back in. Let's put this back on. I think we're good. Got all our screws back in. And my antenna wires didn't come off. I'm not going to screw this back on yet. I just want to make sure it's going to work. Work, baby, work. I've had the sniffles the last few days, so forgive me if I've been sniffing. I do it unconsciously. I can't help it. I don't think I have been. I'm going to slide the optical drive back in here. Guess I can go ahead and put that screw in because I think we're going to be okay with a new keyboard. I'm going to put the bad keyboard in there. Yeah, that definitely is messed up. But this model here is, what is it? It's a Lenovo IdeaPad 32015 ABR. One behind me is like an AST or something like that. But any IdeaPad 320 is going to have the same kind of Palmrest. They come in a couple of different colors, but really color doesn't really matter. I mean, most people. So let's just turn on. I don't know if that battery's charged or not. It might not. Yeah, shoot, it's not even charged. Ugh. Power cord. And I didn't grab the power cord. Thought I did. Just a second, guys. Gotta go way over here. Attached to my microphone here, and I want to get it all tangled up in my awesome wheelchair. All right. And I'll snap that together in a minute. I just want to make sure that we got a keyboard. Should. And we got a power light, so that the keyboard's connected properly. Basically, like I said, on the other keyboard, just none of the keys over on this side worked. A couple of them did randomly, but they were all stuck and goobered up. So I just want to make sure that we got caps light, numlock light. And we're going to be good. So, yep, everything's working to my satisfaction. So I'm just going to go ahead and shut it down, button it back up with the screws, and we're all done. So that's all I got for you today. I appreciate you guys all watching. Don't forget to smash the like and the subscribe button. That would be awesome. I'd appreciate it. Check out more of my videos on my channel. Have a great day.